What's Odie doing? Good morning, chat. It's Monday morning. I've already mowed the side yard. It was still had dew on it, so I gave it a break and before I do the other portion. When I mow the lawn, I do it in stages. One is my electric lawnmower only holds a charge for about 40 minutes. And two, I'm getting old and I just need breaks. There's Miss Dakota looking pretty as normal. Dakota, are you a pretty girl? May. Dakota, are you a pretty girl? She's just sitting in the shade, taking it easy. Odie, leave. Go on. Go play. Go play. Sorry about that. Odie would be right up in my lap if I let him. 24/7. So I'll finish the side yard to the right or the left of me here in about 40 minutes. I'll go grab the batteries and try to get that done. And then this evening I'll mow the outer fence line. And then tomorrow I'll mow the back. I do it in stages. That way it's not too hard on me or the lawnmower. Odie, what do you see? Come here. Are you being a nosy boy this morning? Well, change the orientation. Now it is. I have to end the stream to change it. But welcome to, and I've already mowed a little bit. Temperatures. Hello, Info Corner. How are you? If this is your first time in my chat, I do live in Central Michigan. Good morning, Fabian. I live in Central Michigan, not too far from Mount Pleasant, Michigan. My nearest store from where I live out in the country, / woods, is this. I'm sitting on my front porch looking directly across the street, and you can see my free-range chickens and my Australian sheepdog. That's Odie. It's currently about 78 degrees. Odie is 10 years old, but I've only had him for 6 years. I adopted him. King Bob, welcome. First time I've seen you in my chat. I got the notification you subscribed. In case you don't know, King Bob, I live in Central Michigan. I was just telling the others. Central Michigan, meaning the center of the mitten. I'm about 12 miles from the true center of the mitten. That's what they call the lower peninsula because it looks like a snow mitten. I live out in the country. As you see, King Bob, what you see across the street is what I see when I open my front door. My nearest gas station or store of any nature would be the dollar store and the 2 gas stations. Green, welcome. And if I choose to go to Walmart, Meijer, Aldi, Menards, Home Depot, Tractor Supply, I'm about 18 miles one way. But I like to open my front door and hear birds chirping, as you just heard. Um, it's nice and peaceful here. You don't hear neighbors fighting. You don't hear sirens. You don't see traffic. I get about maybe 3 or 4 cars an hour past my place. So it's very peaceful. And if I want to go fishing, there's a river 2.5 miles down the road. Or if I want to go to a lake about 30 miles from me, I can go to an area that actually has 20 lakes within 20 miles. Yeah, Green, my dogs are all rescues. There's Mr. Odie. I've had him for 6 years. Odie was in a very bad circumstance. The people that had him during the start of the crud lockdown um, lost their jobs, obviously, and it was before the payment thing came in. And Odie, their daughter wanted to have a sleepover, so they invited just a few of her closest friends, and they were running through the house. And Odie's a sheepdog; they nip at heels because they're herders. She went home and told her parents that Odie bit her. Animal control got contacted. Odie was put in quarantine for 14 days because they didn't have the money to even get his rabies shot. They were told either get him his rabies shot or find someone that can. They put him up for adoption even though he was in quarantine. I found him on day 13, and I called every vet within 300 miles to get him his rabies shot. I finally begged the vet that was the closest to where I picked him up to give him the rabies shot after calling him for 14 phone calls. That same vet y'all might have seen on TV, Dr. Poole. Dr. Poole's practice is not too far from where I live. So I managed to save Odie's life, and he's been with me ever since, and he's the best dog that you could ever want. And then Miss Dakota, she was very dominant over the people that. Thank you, I appreciate that subscription. Dakota here, she's laying her back on me. She was very dominant over a Grand Alaskan Malamute. She's a purebred Alaskan Malamute herself, but she was very dominant, and they didn't know how to control her. I had her for 2 weeks. I had her broke of the dominant thing. She gets that way every now and then still, but I used vinegar and water in a spray bottle. They don't like the smell of it, so they change their behavior quite quickly. So I adopted Miss Dakota. She is a daddy girl. Both of my dogs are Velcro dogs, and they're both rescues. And if you're watching the stream, please hit that like button for my dogs. We're trying to get to 1,000, and once we get monetized, all the revenue comes in will be for the dogs. Anywhere from treats to other things. And watch this. Odie, you like treats? Odie, you like balls? You want a ball? Want a ball? What? Get him. Get him. And since I live out in the country, I do some gardening, but all of mine are done in containers and in the area that I keep my dogs. To deter deer, rabbit. We actually have a family of rabbits living on the property, but they don't come up here because of the dogs. My dogs have managed to get a hold of a coon within the last 3 months. Also, about a month ago, I did have a coon get into the coop and take out 3 of my baby chicks. So I lost a brand new shovel on that one because I broke the handle, but I'm just going to go to the hardware and get a new handle. Um, After I caught the coon and used the shovel to break a skull, I took him down about 7 miles and dumped him because other coons will smell him and come running. And then where his blood was spilt, I took pure vinegar, 2 gallons, and poured it over it because that would kill anything that was in his blood, as well as dilute it and get rid of it. Look who it is. It's Miss Dakota. She's always kissing on me. Are you a good girl? Who's a baby? Who's a baby? Is Dakota a baby? Huh? And I'm actually planning on doing some videos a little off topic. I'm going to be going to Saginaw Bay, which is part of Lake Huron, rock hunting. If you don't know it, the Great Lakes is. Thank you, Green, for coming in. Hopefully, you'll come back. So, I'm going to go to Lake Huron rock hunting at the start of the month. There's a lot of stones and gems in the Great Lakes that a lot of people don't know about. Anywhere from Tosky stones to Charlevoix stones to opal. You can find everything. JK, welcome back. I've already mowed the side yard. Hopefully it looks a little bit better than it did yesterday. I mowed for 40 minutes and the batteries died, so the batteries are charging. So I thought I would do a video. And then when they charge, I'll mow the other side yard. Yeah, you can get opals, black, green, blue, reds, all out of the Great Lakes. So I'm going to go do that rock hunting. And as I told you yesterday, I'm going to go to the cider mill. I'm going to reach out to them this morning and see when I can come down once they get to making apple cider and film that whole operation. The cider mill I do go to is called Uncle John's, and they do also have hard cider. Tammy, nice to see you. Well, you have a good day at work too. Yuck. I don't do that anymore. The toughest work I do is work with the dogs and mow the lawn and take care of these plants. I appreciate that like, by the way, Tammy. Thank you. I actually shut off the AC last night. It actually got down to like 60. I see another butterfly. Been seeing a lot of butterflies lately, which is good. Um, my grandmother always said, if you see a butterfly, that's a family member coming back to see you from the other side. I don't know how true it is. It's just something she always said. Just like she taught me, red at night, sailors delight. Red in morning, sailors take warning. And JK, I went to a garage sale and they actually had a Buffalo nickel, 1920. I got it for $2. I don't know how valuable it is, but I thought it was kind of a cool find. And I know where the guy lives, and he has other coins and a lot of silver certificates and blue certificates. I might one day go in and do a video talking to him about all the old money he has. He wants my $50 collection, my silver dollar collection. But it's one collection I will never sell just because of the um, meaning in the connection it has to my grandfather on my dad's side. When I was born, he did this for every one of his grandchildren. He went out with $250, and back in that time, $250 was a lot of money. And he bought brand new $50, only the year of the child's birth. Well, if you know anything about the Kennedy $50, the year I was born is the year that's the most valuable Kennedy $50, and I was born in 1964. So I have $250. So I have 500 1964 Kennedy $50. They've never been in circulation because my grandfather bought them brand new from his bank, and I've always had them since. And before anyone asks, no, they are not for sale. I will never sell them. I buy every Wheatie I see. I went to the bank about a month ago and I said, hey, do you have any rolled pennies? Because I always buy about $4 or $5 worth. And they're like, yeah, but they have weird wrappers on them. I said, what do you mean? Can I see what you're talking about? She pulled it out, and it was the old wrap when Wheaties were in. I said, how many do you have? She said, I have $100 worth of pennies wrapped this way. I said, I'll take them all. So I bought them all, brought them home. Every one of them is a Wheatie. I do have Susan B. Anthony's as well. I try to look for rare coins. And when the Queen died, I did buy a lot of Canadian currency that still has the Queen on it. Because if you don't know, when the monarch dies, they recall all the money to put the new monarch's face on the money. And they destroy all the other. So I still have Queen Elizabeth dollars and coins. And I don't live very far from Canada, so I can get Canadian currency fairly easy. Matter of fact, our local ball team is called the Loons. They're a semi baseball team. So, in the minors. I'm just trying to think of different lives or videos I can make. Also, Here in a couple weeks, the Amish near me are having a flea market, so I'm thinking about going there and videoing the flea market, showing everything the Amish have. Just different things that I think might be interesting. I do have a lot of new shorts up. One is of Dakota taking a nap, and when she takes a nap, she puts her feet straight up in the air. Dakota, get out of that plant. Come on, baby. But as I said, there is not a cloud in the sky. Kind of nice. Hey, JK, how's that pup doing this morning? Has it had any accidents in the house, or is it pretty well potty trained? For you that don't know, JK and his wife just adopted a golden doodle that started out on a Amish puppy mill farm. That's awesome. So, have you guys decided a name for her yet, or did she come with a name? Like Odie, I gave Odie his nickname of Wigglebutt because he's an Australian Shepherd, and when he gets excited, his butt wiggles like no tomorrow. Hey, at least she has respect, right? Rennie. I don't want to have to go out and mow the other part of the lawn. Ugh, it's getting hot. I might just put it off till tonight and mow it with the back. I was going to do the fence line, but I think I'm going to hold off on this fence line until tomorrow morning. I don't let my grass get too long, as you see. I keep it pretty short. And for you that have four-legged pawed friends, the reason I do that is ticks and fleas do not like tall, short grass. The reason being is it exposes them to the sun. So they stay clear of it. So I keep mine pretty short. Okay, that makes sense. Well, Odie is what the people that I got him from named him. One day he did something that I got very upset with, and I called him. I called him Otis, and he answered to it. So I think his original name was Otis, and they changed it to Odie. But now he's just a Wigglebutt, aren't you? Who's a Wigglebutt, Ode? Who's Wigglebutt? Who's a Wiggles? Who's a Wigglebutt? Says Tail. He's wiggling it because I'm calling him Wigglebutt. Who's Wigglebutt, Ode? Who's my big girl? Big girl. Dakota. Who's big girl? Who's big girl? As you see, they're not spoiled at all. What? You talking to me? Are you talking to Dad? Are you talking to Dad, Dakota? May May, are you talking to Dad? Who's a good girl? Who's my big girl? Who's the daddy girl? Are you a daddy girl? Get Odie. Get Odie. He wants to play. Get Odie. Get him, Odie. Go get him. Get him. Odie runs around with his head cut off because the chickens are all free range and they can be all over the yard. I have a whole family of rabbits out back, so the dogs always go crazy. They haven't got a rabbit yet, but they did get a coon. And then I did have a coon get into the coop and I lost 3 chicks. But in another month and a half, we're going to have eggs coming out every which way. And JK, it's nice to be able to walk outside and get 2 or 3 brown eggs, take them in the house and make breakfast. 2 or 3 eggs with biscuits and gravy. That's a good morning breakfast in my book. Cup of coffee. I used to make a pot and only drink 1 cup, so I went and got me one of those individual brewers that make 1 cup, and if I want another one, I can make another cup, and it don't take that long. Now, during the winter, I make about 5 cups a day or more. Correct. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name of it. Because they came down in price. I mean, when they first came out, they were, what, 100 or 2? And then Walmart started selling them $35. And the beans have really shut up. See that? And the tomato plants I got from the nursery, the ones that they just let, so they stopped watering and they were letting die, the ones they gave me. After I brought them home, transplanted them and buried them deeper and gave them plenty of water. Because I also put calcium into the mix. I put grit. They have really shot up. And I watched a video yesterday. A guy says for tomato plants to help them really go crazy, you get unsweetened, unfruited yogurt, and you put 1 cup of that in a 5-gallon bucket, mix it well, put a tablespoon of baking soda in it, and then you water your plants with it. And I said that tomato plants will go ballistic and give you more fruit. So guess what I'm going to try next time I go to the store? But they said do not use spigot water. If you do, you got to let it sit out for like 2 days so the chlorine and all the other junk that they put in there evaporates. Um, I have rainwater buckets on the property, so I'll just use rainwater. You can't get any more pure than that. And see how my plants do. My lettuce is really coming along. My carrots are about an inch long right now, so I just pulled it out to look at it, and I put it right back down in the ground. And well, I figured I would plant the items that I would eat over the winter. So my peppers, I'm going to cut up and freeze those. I'm going to can my tomatoes. Carrot, I'm going to slice up in the disc and use that this winter. Uh, Cucumber, make pickles out of it. And zucchini, I'm going to slice up in the disc and freeze those. I like vegetable soup, so you can't get much purer than homegrown vegetables. My experiment with my lettuce or my celery didn't do so well, but it is what it is. I'm also going to start growing an avocado tree inside. I grew one about 10 years ago and it got up to about 8 foot tall before I gave it away. I'm thinking about doing a lemon tree as well as a lime tree inside. When I have like tacos or Mexican food, I like to have at least 2 limes. I like lime juice over my tacos. It has to be fresh lime. It cannot be that so-called lime juice they sell in the green container that's supposed to look like a lime. Oh, the chicks are too close to the fence, so Odie's going ballistic. You see your girls? What? There's Dakota out. Get him, Dakota. Get Odie. As you see, Odie's on point. He's looking out for the chicks and chickens. He just watches. He's a natural herder. It's all right. I'm not going to correct him because he's doing what he's meant to do. And you got to let them do that every now and then. He's a spoiled boy. Are you spoiled? Who's the spoiled boy, Odie? Odie, who's the spoiled boy? As you see, he's gone back and forth about 15 times and he won't stop until we go inside. But like I said, we're just sitting here doing nothing, and thinking about doing cabbage rolls for dinner. What are you looking at, Ode? Dakota, are you a pretty girl? Yeah, this is heavy traffic for us out here. One pickup truck. We don't get a lot of traffic out where I live. The most I've seen at one time is maybe 4 or 5 cars, and that's it. And that's not anything out here. And I don't go a lot of places. The last place I went was Aldi on Saturday. Haven't gone anywhere since. Shoot, I spend more in car insurance than anything else, and I bet you I don't drive 100 miles in a month. Now, next start of the month, I am going to go to Saginaw Bay, which is, I think it's 45 miles one way. So it'll be 100 miles just on that day, but to make content and also see what kind of rocks and stones and gems I can find. Because I also have a rock tumbler, so whatever I find, I will come back and put it in a rock tumbler and then polish it. And when I do that, I'll make another video about the stones that I find and actually have a breakdown of what I found. And if you're interested in doing any type of rock hunting here in the state of Michigan, the Michigan DNR does limit each person to 25 pounds of Michigan rocks a year. Now, something you might not know is way back, before the Great Lakes, there was actually an ocean that covered this area. And so we still have rocks from that time period. And a friend of mine actually found shark teeth. Michigan's freshwater. We don't have any sharks. But back when it was an ocean, there was plenty of sharks. We find coral, we find all kinds of stuff. It's just kind of really neat to go rock collecting here. But like I said, the Michigan Department of Natural Resources does limit you to 25 pounds of rocks a year. And believe it or not, people have found some massive rocks. The Petoskey stone that actually sits in Bay City at one of the museums weighs, are you ready for this? 25,000 pounds. It's a boulder, but it's all Petoskey stone. It's the most valuable stone ever found in Michigan. Oh, welcome back. But like I said, 25,000 pounds of Petoskey stone. It's got like a $3.5 million price tag on it. They'll never sell it. It's not for sale. That was what they valued at. Petoskey stones, depending on how big they are, obviously they're valuable polished or unpolished. But if you polish them and you do it right, that stone can be worth anywhere from a couple $100 to thousands of dollars. So, like I said, I'm going to go look for rocks and gems, and then this winter I will be polishing those. I think next spring I'm going to be taking a road trip down to Radcliffe, Kentucky to see some friends. If you don't know anything about Radcliffe, Radcliffe is about an hour 10 south of Louisville, Kentucky. And if you're in Louisville, might as well go to the Derby. I did that, and that was awesome. I'm thinking about possibly even going to the Derby, but tickets are so cussed expensive. But the infields aren't too bad. But I'm thinking about doing the Derby again. But also, I want to go down to the flea markets down in that area. You could find some really good stuff. And I should be inching closer to hitting 100K, by the way. I think I'm at 953 or 54 currently. So I should be hitting 1,000 hopefully this week or next. I don't know if you can see that robin over there. She's sitting on one of the posts to the fence. She's been jumping back and forth from the ground to the. I would love to have a bird feeder, but the dogs wouldn't permit it. I hear an aircraft, but I don't see one. And it's not an aircraft; it's a jet. But I just don't see it. But it could be over that fence line or the tree line too. Look at Dakota. You'd think she was having a bad day. Yeah, same here, JK. These two would definitely go think the birds were their snack, especially that one. She looks innocent, but she's not so innocent. Dakota, are you a good girl? Dakota, Dakota. Well, JK, I actually found some mushrooms, but they were the good kind of mushrooms. I found them on the outside of my fence line at the rear of the property. I found morels. Well, if you got mushrooms popping up in your yard, it means that your lawn is well watered or has enough dew or whatever. Well, here comes the second vehicle in about 15 minutes. And surprise, another truck. I'm not surprised. That's primarily what you get out here is trucks. You don't see too many cars. But it is the farm life. Trying to decide if I really want to mow the other part of the front right now. It's kind of getting warm. Well, with my plants, JK, I've got to be careful because Dakota will eat the plant. And potato or tomato plants are the leaves are poisonous. So I really got to watch her out here. Most people don't know that. It's just the lazy days. You see, Dakota's out cold. So is Odie. Odie's laying watching the chickens underneath the truck. Oh, I know what you're doing. Yeah, you watching them? There are chickens underneath there. Dakota just doesn't care. She just wants to relax. Dakota, are you a good girl? Dakota, you want to go in the house? Like I said, it's just a lazy morning. So I would do a live before everyone gets going. And so it's been 50 minutes, folks. I'm going to put a wrap on this one. I think I'm going to try mowing this other section. I might pop back on if no one else is streaming. Um, I hope you all have a great week. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm going to try doing that afternoon live. Oh, there goes someone with a boat. Must be going fishing. What are you doing? But I'm going to put a wrap on this one. I thank you for popping in and look for me probably around noonish. I might do another stream. Y'all have a blessed morning. And if you haven't finished your cup of Joe yet, finish your cup of Joe. If you haven't had one, make one or get a refill and have a relaxing day. God bless. I'll catch you on the next one.